drought conditions worsen while planting season approaches. NTV's Lauren Coomer has our top story.
Farmers say dry conditions are concerning, but one Alma farmer says they'll still have a few more weeks to determine planting rates. It won't be long before Travis Woolen gets in his field to start planting. But right now around central Nebraska, the topsoil is dry.
Given the situation we're in, we have good subsoil moisture from our rains last fall, so we have a little longer to wait for those rains.
You want to make sure that you have a nice even stand, good emergence, good germination right out of the gate. So soil moisture is so critical.
The latest drought monitor released Thursday morning, showing dryness slowly creeping up from Kansas.
If you looked at the report difference from last week to this week, we've gone from abnormally dry in certain spots, southern counties of Nebraska, to actually having moderate drought in a few counties in southern Nebraska, so that's a little bit concerning.
Crops and Water Nebraska Extension educator Sarah Sivitz says soil and moisture are so important going into planting.
If they don't have good moisture in that soil profile to start with when you go out and plant, the seed's just going to sit there and it's not going to be able to germinate properly. And that's definitely a concern.
In an ideal situation, you would have nice moist soil to go into for planting, but the next best situation is to have dry conditions for planting and then rain following soon after.
Travis Woolen says because of the drought further south, wheat has gone up around $1 a bushel, which he says could help farmers in this area make a decent crop if there is enough rain in central Nebraska.
You just kind of make plans both ways on if we would get some rain or if we don't, and really can make that decision up to the day that you're planting corn on the tractor.
Regardless, farmers say they'll proceed into planting season and adapt to soil conditions within the next few months. Lauren Coomer, NTV News, Lexington.
So what's your biggest concern heading into planting season? Of course, there's commodity prices. Some concerned about droughts, also weeds or something else. You can follow us on Twitter, cast your vote. Trade continues to dominate policy discussions. We talked to Senator Deb Fischer for her thoughts.
Well, we do have steel plants in the state of Nebraska, and obviously they're supportive of it. I think it's very important that we're able to balance the needs we have across the board. We have manufacturers, of course, who are very concerned about those steel tariffs and what's going to happen. And I don't want to see agriculture, which is the economic engine in the state of Nebraska, be hit hard with retaliation by the cause of those tariffs. So it's another balancing act where we're getting the message to the president that while we certainly understand his support for those tariffs, we need to keep in mind the different segments of the economy that can be hurt.
And corn growers are sharing their message, why trade matters for Nebraska.
The Nebraska Corn Growers Association is urging farmers to get involved at the grassroots level and make sure to contact the president and other officials. Some in agriculture fear a trade war or retaliation over the president's tariffs. Given the rough economics in agriculture, a Minden farmer says they need stability.
Sudden disruptions in trade happen, and we can't just say, no, we're not selling for any less than this, you got to give it to us. We have to take what the market will bear, and if that market bears 20–30% less than what it is now because we lose some important markets, that's something we can't overcome by ourselves.
Farmers say disruptions in trade not only affect them directly, but the many Nebraskans who work in food processing and related fields.
It has to be trucked, it has to be hauled someplace, it might go to a river and go down a barge to be exported out. We're helping to provide jobs for a number of people, and these exports are also causing that same thing.
Corn growers say they are especially concerned about NAFTA since Mexico and Canada are two of our biggest trade partners.
Livestock haulers catch a break from rules that some say put animal welfare in jeopardy. Cattlemen learn the latest research. NTV's Ifi Sinachi Ibo Simba has more.
Property taxes, property taxes, property taxes. That's always the biggest issue.
The Nebraska Cattlemen's Association telling ranchers Thursday it's working to pinpoint proposals from state senators that will provide tax relief to producers. The group also keeping an eye on federal regulations like the electronic logging devices mandate.
It really puts the feet to the fire on hours of service.
Ag producers are set to be in compliance by March 18th. The mandate intends to create a safer work environment for drivers by automatically recording drive time and letting them know when they've maxed out on acceptable windshield time.
And that's something that affects the livestock hauling industry at large, as well as various producers, and really our ability to move cattle nationwide.
Another regulation the group is watching, air emission reporting. Producers are set to be in compliance by May 1st.
Senator Deb Fischer did introduce a bill to exempt agriculture from those reporting requirements. It's gotten a number of bipartisan co-sponsors on board.
Another hot topic during the West Central Cattlemen's Day, cover crops.
A great opportunity to think about putting some extra pounds on calves before they sell them.
University of Nebraska beef systems specialist Mary Dranowski says when considering cover crops, cattlemen should keep in mind forage potential. Also, what crops will bring in the highest yield. And remember that grazing does not negate cover crop effects. Ifeanyi Bosimba, NTV News, Oxford.
They say rain makes grain and corn makes whiskey. More on that story still to come. And later, a young farmer shares his story of survival from a grain bin accident. Stay with us.